All right, Xavier. Hi, everyone. This is Mark Beauchamp. I'll be hosting the call today, but before we get started, let me turn it over to Xavier Ayala, the president of the Western States Acquirers Association. Xavier?
Hey, thank you very much, Mark, and good morning to those of you out on the West Coast. I want to welcome you to our first webinar sponsored by the Western States Acquirers Association. As most of you probably know, this is our first time doing this, and the first of many to come, I would like to say. And I'm just honored to have Mark be our first candidate to put on these webinars, and hopefully many more in the future as well. So I want to welcome you to the webinar and also encourage you, if you haven't already done so, to register to attend our conference. That'll be here in a few weeks on October 15th and 16th. So hope to see you down in San Diego. And with that, I'd like to turn this back over to Mark and sit back and enjoy.
Great. Thank you very much, Xavier. And I also am honored and really excited about being able to be with all of you today and present what I think will hopefully be some great content to help you be successful in this business. A couple quick housekeeping items before we get started. We had close to 100 people register for this webinar, so I'll keep everything on what's called lecture-only mode, and that way we'll avoid any feedback from people that might be in their cars or on mobile phones or working as they're watching today. I also will be recording the replay and offering the replay of this event. We'll get this over to the WASA Educational Committee, and they can post up to the website or make it available to those of you that weren't able to attend today. So let's hop in here and let's get started. And before I walk through our agenda, I just wanted to comment a little bit about where I feel like the industry is today. And I'm sure I don't really have to tell any of you on the call this, but we are in a hyper-competitive business today, and we're in a tough marketplace today because payments really, in my opinion, has become a commodity product at this point. So I would just caution those of you that are on the call today, and there probably aren't many of you left, but if you're selling on rate and rate alone or price alone, it's just going to get more difficult out there. I mean, if you look at the marketplace today, we've got a host of new technology-based companies competing for merchant processing like they never have before. And if you're not focusing or you're not starting to make that focus or that transition to solution-based selling or value-based selling, I just think it's going to be more and more difficult for MLS to be successful out in the marketplace. And that's really where we came up with this topic today. We were really kind of putting our heads together and thinking, well, what would be a good topic for that first webinar that we do? And a lot of the interest and a lot of the questions that I get from ISOs and agents out in the field have a lot to do with value-added products. That's kind of where the idea came with this specific topic. And what I'm going to cover today and what's on the agenda today is really just some basics. You know, what do I think a value-added product is? How do I feel that that benefits ISOs and agents that are out in the field? 6 things that I would just recommend that you consider before implementing a value-added product. And then I'll take a look at some of the more traditional type value-added products that I'm sure many of you are selling today and have been selling with great success. And then we'll look at some of the new value-added products that I see out in the marketplace. And then I'll share with you a brief case study on a product that I've been working with for a couple years and how that came to fruition and how that worked and helped ISOs and agents get more appointments and close more business. So let's go ahead and hop into it. When I think of value-added product, you know, I really, there's that word in there called value, and I really think of it as a product, a good, a service, an app, whatever it is, that really improves the merchant's current circumstances. And it could improve their current circumstances in many different ways. It could solve a problem for the merchant. which would alleviate some pain that they've got in running their business. It might help them run their business more effectively or more efficiently. It could be data. It could be improvement of a process. It could be an add-on service that they're doing manually today that might automate and give them more time to run their business or free up employees or reduce overhead to really help them run their business in a better way. It also might make their life easier, hopefully, and or save them time or money, especially from a headcount perspective or an employee perspective. And it could, with a lot of the newer products that I'm seeing today, it might actually make them money. It might drive more traffic, increase their sales conversion ratios, and just add more money to the bottom line. And really, we want to get away from that conversation of, hey, Mr. Merchant, let me come by and do a free statement analysis for you. I promise you I can save you 10 or 20% on your merchant processing fees. And, you know, that's still, I still see people doing and offering that approach today, and it's just a numbers game. It still works if you're willing to go through the numbers. But if you can change that conversation to one of value instead of saving them a few basis points, how can I make you X number of dollars or improve your current process or free up X number of hours so you can run that business better and increase your bottom line? That's really the kind of conversation that we want to engage these merchants with and get them involved in. And they're much more open to speaking to you when you've got a solution that alleviates some of these problems that they have in their day-to-day business life. So we know how a value-added product benefits a merchant, but how does it benefit you, an ISO or agent? You know, we're all tuned into that WII-FM radio station. What's in it for me? So really, you have to buy into this concept of these value-added products that really can help you improve your operation and your business as well. So the first thing that I think it does, and what's the most important thing, is that it serves your client more effectively. And that's really what we're after, aren't we? I mean, we're really after serving our clients. So if we enter the sales relationship from a perspective of what can I do for my merchant instead of what can I do to my merchant, I think we're way ahead of the game, and we take on that consultative sales approach. And if you serve your client, great things happen. You know, we get more referrals. We get more testimonials. We have happy customers that continue to process with you so you can continue to build that residual portfolio. The other thing that a unique value-added product does is it really helps you distinguish your uniqueness in the marketplace. And I would always encourage people to shop your competition and see what your competition is offering out there and what are they doing that makes them unique and different in the marketplace. And the answer is that the majority of the competition out there isn't doing a whole lot to make them appear to be unique and different in their local market. I see it all the time, and you know, and it's not just in our business, but you know, mediocrity is the norm. So if you can commit yourself to being extraordinary and really drawing a clear distinction with your customers or potential customers of how you are unique, how you are different, what are the unique benefits that you offer them that is different from every other credit card guy out there in the marketplace. So if you've got a really cool new value-added product or a value-added product that delivers those things that we just talked about, that's going to make you different in the marketplace, and it really positions yourself as a solution salesperson and someone that really cares about their business. And when people feel that you care, they're going to be more inclined to do business with you. We want to create that atmosphere where they feel comfortable signing that merchant contract with you. The other thing that it can do for you from an ISO or agent perspective is it naturally creates another revenue stream for you. It increases your bottom line, your sales, and your profits, and creates an additional stream of income. And if you've got 3 or 4 or 5 value-added product income streams, it certainly reduces the risk of an economic event or something happening where it can really affect your income that you have coming in each and every month. If you have all your eggs in one basket, it's all in your merchant portfolio, and you have no other income streams, if we've got a bad economic event or a regulatory change or something that affects that merchant portfolio, it will definitely hurt your income. If you've got some value-added product streams as well, that will supplement your income and certainly spreads out the risk a little bit for you. We certainly want new revenue streams, but one of the clear advantages that value-added products have as well is they reduce attrition. And I don't know about some of the people on the call, but many times I noticed, especially when I was out in the field, and granted it has been a few years since I've been out in the field, but the people I talk to is when you have 2 or more products placed within a merchant location, your attrition is reduced drastically. And if you've got 3 products in there, check services, gift cards, credit card processing, even some of these old standards, the odds of that merchant attriting are very, very slim. If you've just got merchant processing in that place of business, they're ripe for the picking. The next guy that walks down the street might offer them a cheaper rate, might offer them a solution that you're not offering and you're not communicating to them, and they'll take the account away. So one thing that we want to look at from a value-added product standpoint, maybe you have a product where the profits aren't substantial, but maybe that product can help you reduce attrition, or it might even help you engage your merchant much more easily. It could be used as a marketing or an appointment setting tool, and this is the area where some of these newer mobile applications, these mobile apps, data analytics, consumer financing products, these products are great at engaging merchants and offering that, making that merchant willing to sit down with you and meet face-to-face to talk about that product. So they're great in a call center environment, appointment setting environment, or a cold calling environment for those of you that still knock on some doors. The other thing is if you're thinking of building an organization, you're building a group of agents that are working for you or sub-agents, these value-added products can be excellent recruiting tools and certainly be things that can make you appear unique and distinguish you in the agent marketplace as well. And one of my favorites is value-added products certainly allow you to bundle offerings at a potentially higher price point. I've always been a big proponent, and this is how I like to offer products when I was in actively selling in the merchant acquiring space, was I would like to go after a vertical industry, become an expert in that vertical, and then bundle a solution together. And back in my day, we did a lot of leasing, but we could bundle that solution together to really provide a total solution for that particular vertical. And maybe we'll talk a little bit about that later. But if you're selling from a bundling standpoint, a solution standpoint, you can put these value-added products together with your terminal, your EMV terminal offering, your point-of-sale offering, and really create a sticky product that once they're on board, those merchants aren't going anywhere. So that's how it benefits you in the merchant sales side of the equation. And these are 6 things that I would certainly recommend that you look at before implementing any type of value-added product. And I've certainly made my share of mistakes over the years. When I was out there, I tried a lot of different value-added products. Some worked, some didn't work. And I really came up with this little checklist here through trial and error over many years of experience and launching of many value-added products. And over the last few, I'd say 3 to 5 years, I've probably launched 20 to 30 value-added products with some fairly large ISOs and processors. So the first question I think you need to ask yourself is the one we asked earlier: does this product really add value? And there's an old saying that goes, if you want to see why John Smith buys, look at the world through John Smith's eyes. So we have to really put ourselves in the merchant's shoes and the merchant's situation to see, does this product make sense? Does it solve a problem, make life easier, and improve their bottom line? And I certainly would go out, if you've got a merchant base of clients, and maybe do some research and some surveying and just talk to them and ask them, hey, this is what we're thinking of bringing on board as a product. Do you think this would be something that you would be interested in or that you would take a look at? The next thing, naturally, we need to look at is the profit potential of that particular value-added product. Maybe the profit potential isn't really in the initial value-added product. Maybe the profit potential is in the ability to acquire their merchant account at a later date. Or maybe it hits a home run on both. You look at some products like Cash Advance, that's a great profit potential up front. Not quite as much as it used to be, but it certainly is. A lot of people are offering Cash Advance. You make great money up front, and in many cases you can secure the merchant account on the back end. So that's probably one of the most successful value-added products when I look back over the years that have been introduced to the ISO marketplace. You might have another product like gift cards, for instance, that there isn't a whole lot of profit. You make a little money maybe on the cards up front. You put in some work getting those cards produced and designed and then getting the merchant set up, but it certainly gives you potential to pick up the merchant account if you don't have it or reduce attrition. So you really just need to look at what you're trying to accomplish from a profit perspective when you're reviewing these value-added products. The next thing is, what's the market size or the demographics of the type of merchant that I'm going to prospect or target my offering to? Is there enough potential, especially in your local market, for me to really sell and convert this value-added offering? Are there enough merchants that really want this product in my area? Or if I'm selling it nationally or via call center or phone room, what do these demographics look like, and do they make sense for my business? The next thing I'd look at is, naturally, the one thing I'd always look at in any situation is the competitive environment. Is everyone in my market area offering the same product? You know, and if they're offering the same product, it certainly might be a reason why I want to bring it to the table, because merchants may be asking for it. But in a perfect world, I might want to have a value-added product that's a little bit unique and different, that distinguishes me from the other competition. So what do my competitors look like? Are they offering this product? And what's the overall competitive environment look like for that value-added product? Is there an ongoing service commitment? If you're a small ISO, a one-man shop working out of your home maybe, or you've got 2 or 3 reps out there, you know, is this value-added product going to really bog me down from a service perspective, a training perspective, or a support perspective? And what is my role in this relationship, and what is the value-added product provider going to give me as far as support goes? That's something you really need to consider if it requires a lot of ongoing service commitment. The best products that I would prefer, especially when I was just a small agent office out there, was a product that I could offer, and then my partner would do all the heavy lifting, the training, the support, and a lot of that ongoing service commitment for me. Naturally, if you're providing more of an ongoing service commitment, you might want to ask for or share in more of the profits than if you were not providing any service. The other thing you may want to take a look at, too, is product implementation, not only from a merchant perspective, but from a sales rep perspective. If you have agents out there, what are the training requirements that I need to provide to these agents? How long is it going to take me to get them up and running and ready to offer this product out in the field? What type of collateral material will I need, type of sales presentations, etc. And then from a merchant perspective, you know, what is the implementation process? How difficult is it? And the biggest thing from a product implementation perspective from the merchant's point of view is, does this product require behavioral change? And what I've seen over the years is, when there's a value-added product that requires a lot of behavioral change at the merchant location, the adoption rates are much lower than a product that doesn't require as much behavioral change. So do they have to train their staff? Is there a lot of different things that they need to do to offer the product? You know, loyalty enrollment, for instance. If you've got a loyalty program you're bringing to the table, if you have a cumbersome enrollment process, the engagement level is going to be much lower than if you have an automated customer enrollment process. So you need to kind of think through those things from a merchant perspective and a process perspective on how easy is it for this merchant to implement the product in the store, and how easy is it for you to implement it out in the field with your salespeople. So those are the 6 things that I would just consider and think about when you're going through this evaluation process. And let's take a look at some of our traditional type value-added products. And as I said earlier, I mean, I would have to say Cash Advance is probably one of the most successful. I know some people sell it, some people don't, but from what I've seen, Cash Advance has been a highly successful value-added product. Gift and loyalty cards, those are very popular as well. Check services, gateways, reoccurring billing options, PCI products, security-related products. You know, there's people that work on specific verticals like age verification, medical insurance verification, fishing, hunting license issuance, ATM machines, standard POS equipment, shopping carts, websites. I mean, these are just a few. There's hundreds of them out there that I've seen guys offer and bundle in specific offerings, but these are kind of the traditional ones that I see out there, and I'm sure many of you on the call are offering a Cash Advance solution, a gift or loyalty card, and check service and a gateway. I mean, almost everyone in the business has to have those products in your product mix. What I'm seeing from a standpoint of newer products and newer concepts are some of these, and by no means is this list inclusive. These are just things that we'll see out there. And I'm sure if you're attending the Western States Acquirers Show on the 15th, I will say that I attend every regional show each year, and the Western States is probably the largest regional show of the year, and I think you're going to see some very, very exciting vendors out there that will be offering a lot of these newer concept products out in the marketplace. So if you haven't thought of attending, I certainly would recommend that you get out to the show, because the vendor hall will be full of these type of vendors. Some of the biggest ones, and I don't know those of you on the call that attended the ETA, but probably the most prevalent product that I saw at the annual ETA show this year was tablet cloud-based POS systems. That's really becoming prevalent in the business. There's a lot of solutions out there that are offering cloud-based tablet point of sale. That's certainly one that I would recommend you take a look at, and I'll give you my top picks here in a minute. There's mobile app development. We're seeing a lot of this. Mobile wallets. I mean, everybody's talking about Apple Pay, so I think Apple Pay will be extremely exciting. I'll talk about that here in a second as well. Big data services, IC agents, ISOs offering payroll services, time and attendance, HR management software, cloud-based systems, consumer financing products are very, very exciting. That's a niche I've been working in. Charity-based solutions that you can actually donate a portion of the proceeds or merchant processing to the charity of their choice. There's a lot of great social media products available, search engine optimization, pay-per-click marketing campaigns. One thing that I find interesting are reputation management products. There's always merchants out, and you can find them easily by going to Yelp or Google or Foursquare, and you can find people that have issues with their reputation, and that's your prospecting database right there, and you can offer them a reputation management solution that will help get those negative reviews, or at least push those negative reviews down. I see a lot of restaurant, online as well as mobile ordering programs, unique loyalty programs. And what I mean by unique, they're either mobile-based or they're registered card. They're linked to that customer's card, so there doesn't have to be a lot of that behavioral change that I just discussed. SMS, text, mobile marketing, customer feedback systems. I know a couple groups doing well with a product like that where they actually can hand the consumer a tablet at the table and they can give instant feedback on the wait staff, the atmosphere, the food quality, etc. Unattended kiosk, those are popular, self-service kiosks, vehicle tracking, GPS systems, digital advertising solutions, various prepaid products out there in the marketplace, niche market applications and solutions. So if you're working in a vertical, picking a value-added product suite that really addresses the needs of that particular vertical, and that's the way that I always like to sell. And if I was back out there today, that's probably what I would do. I'd pick 2 or 3 verticals that I really wanted to penetrate, become an expert in, and I would attack those verticals. And then there's a host of other software and apps and services out there. By no means is this an exhaustive list, but these are just some of the newer concepts and newer products that I'm seeing out there. I get asked all the time, what would be my top choices for value-added products? And I would certainly jump into this tablet, cloud-based POS, or, it doesn't have to be tablet. It could be a cloud-based POS offering or a mobile-type solution. That would be one area where I would really look to differentiate and be able to offer my merchants that solution. Anything with Apple Pay, I would hop on the bandwagon. I believe that Apple Pay is going to really change customer adoption of NFC and mobile wallets. I think we're just at the tip of it here, but with the initial sales numbers that we've seen for the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus, what is it, like 10 million phones already ordered? I think Apple Pay is absolutely going to be a great offering and a great way for you to get your foot in the door, and along with EMV and NFC, be able to upgrade a lot of merchant terminals. So I really think I would hop on the bandwagon for next year, or look at what happens with Apple Pay. Get with your ISO, get with your processor, make sure they've got a solution that will work with Apple Pay. Big data, I'm really excited about what I see in big data, and that's probably an area that I'm working with people in right now, and I would say that a big data solution would certainly be on my list to be able to really look at and give the merchant the ability to really look at the card data that's coming into their place of business and use that data for actionable marketing and intelligence. So that merchant will be able to see not only sales numbers, everyone has, what's my average sale, my busiest times of the day this year compared to last year, but really look at where those merchants are coming from, being able to market to those merchants and churn the data or segment the data, and being able to send out promotions, win-back messages, birthday messages, etc., to really target those consumers to drive them back in the store is going to be very, very exciting. And then, a lot of these big data providers now are monitoring their social media. Now merchants can log in and review how many Facebook's likes they have, what their reviews are looking like out on Yelp and some of the social media platforms, and really present that into a single reporting platform. So I'm very excited about the potential of big data and big data solutions. And then I really like the consumer finance space, and that's the case study I'm going to show you here in a minute, but I feel like it's a really unique product and a unique way to get your foot in the door. So let's look at this case study, and just a reminder, we're getting towards the end. I don't want to run over too much, but anyone that has questions, you'll be able to go ahead and type in those questions in the question chat box, and here in a moment I'll try to get to those questions if time permits. So this is a case study that I've presented at a couple of the other regional conferences, and I just want to share with you what we looked at on this particular product. So this product is called PayProGrow, and it's a consumer finance product. It's not a cash advance product. So if you think of it, this is a product where an agent could walk into, say, an auto repair, and he could give that auto repair owner the ability to offer financing to his customers. So the auto repair could maybe offer a 90-day same as cash, 1 year no interest, 2 year no interest, an installment program where they can approve consumers down to as low as a 500 credit score. So what we looked at when we were evaluating, and I started evaluating this product, the big challenge that a lot of people in this particular organization had was being able to get in front of merchants. The same old stale pitches weren't working. So one of the main things we were looking at is a unique way to get our foot in the door that we could speak to a merchant and really add value and would really be willing to sit down and set up an appointment. And naturally, the strategy was to pick up the credit card processing at the end of the call or somewhere during the sales call. So we chose this PayPro product, and we're in the midst of rebuilding this entire platform. So around January 1st, we'll have it all together. But it really is just offering financing to those merchant consumers that's a prime customer, which would be 700 and up, near prime, and subprime financing for those credit challenge customers. And really the markets we looked at were medical, retail, and then contractors that are doing a lot of home services and remodeling, as well as probably the next biggest one would be auto repair. So these were all the type of merchants that were great merchant service prospects for credit card processing as well and financing. So how does this product serve the merchant? Well, naturally, we were going to give the merchant the ability to get more approved clients, which equaled more sales. He could offer more promotions. He could advertise 0% interest. He could increase his floor traffic. It didn't require any kind of terminal. It didn't require, everything was online on the internet, so he didn't have to lease a terminal, didn't have to buy a terminal, didn't have a contract. He could cancel at any time, and really gave him the opportunity to test out this financing and see if it worked. It also promoted larger ticket sales for those merchants that were offering high dollar, high ticket items, jewelry, furniture, contractors, etc. The other thing we looked at was the profit potential was anywhere from 100 to 200 basis points, so we had a very high profit potential compared to what most ISOs and agents are making on credit card processing today. The market size, we looked at the numbers, the demographics, the SIC codes, millions and millions of potential prospects that wanted this type of product. We looked at the competitive environment. We found that really the big boys that were in financing were GE and Wells Fargo, and a couple regional players that were fragmented. And GE and Wells Fargo were really going for those customers that were 690 and above, say, on their credit score. And we really didn't have to compete in that place. We had a solution to compete there, but we were really going for the merchants' turndowns. If they were on GE or Wells Fargo, if they got declined, we would take that business. And also trying to get into those markets that traditionally did not offer financing. That auto repair is a great example. And these particular competitors required quite a bit of financial information to get merchants set up, and we were able to eliminate a lot of that financial information and get more merchants approved on these programs. We did learn some things from implementation. The provider implemented that, and I'll share what we learned from that with you in a moment. So this was kind of the analysis that we went through on this product. We brought the product on board, beta tested it, worked with it, and here's what we found. We found that by offering consumer financing, our appointment setting ratios skyrocketed compared to traditional merchant services, and it was a wonderful door opener. If any of you are in a call center environment, today when I ran a call center 10 or 15 years ago, we would average about 1 appointment per hour, maybe 1.5 per hour. Today the numbers have gone down quite a bit. What we found is by calling on financing, we were able to average 2 to 3 appointments per hour. So we were getting back to those old days when merchant services was just coming out in a mass scale. We found out that many of our sales partners were converting merchant accounts at the end of the sale or during the actual sale, so it worked great. We had somewhere around a 20% conversion ratio. The thing that we learned is that the merchant adoption was challenging, and that's exactly what I talked about earlier. It was that implementation process, and it did require some behavioral change, especially if they were using another competitive product. So we had to really go back and look at that and create some new processes that needed to be put in place to make sure the merchant adopted the technology, because this is similar to merchant services. If those merchants don't process loans, then no one makes any money. So we really needed to make sure that the merchant activated and started to process, and we were able to bump that up to about an 80% activation ratio. So that's just a little case study for you, and I would just recommend if you're looking at any other value-added products, maybe try a beta test, maybe spend some time testing it with a few merchants, and really see if it's a solution that's going to really work for your business. All right, well, that concludes the presentation so far, and I don't see, let me see if we have some questions here, and I will answer them. One question on bundling. How would you maybe bundle an offer together, or what would you recommend? So kind of what I said earlier, if I was going to bundle a product, I would really look at the vertical industry you're trying to approach, and say it's auto repair that you're trying to approach, or hospitality like restaurants. I would really develop a program or a bundle that offers value around that particular vertical. So you might want to find some auto-related point-of-sale software, an auto-related, maybe a quoting system, a parts system that you could partner with. You know, a lot of those auto repairs enter in the model, make, and the year of the car, and it pops up all the parts that are in the car and how they can order it. You know, like Mitchell or some of those people, you might want to partner with them and offer some type of solution. You might want to offer something where the auto people could schedule their auto service online that could integrate with their website. You might want to offer a financing solution. You might want to offer some type of loyalty program. So I would just look at that particular vertical. It takes a lot of work, but put that bundle together. And then really once you sell 1, 2, or 3 clients in that vertical, you know, you join their trade associations or local trade associations. You sponsor some events. You might offer to write some articles. You might offer to speak about, you know, upcoming credit card processing regulation that will affect their business, and talk about EMV and PCI and Apple Pay and all these new things that are happening out there. So that's kind of the way that I would approach a bundled product offering, and what I would offer to them. All right, let me see here. We have, let's see, question, can you give us some examples of big data products? You know, the standard big data out there are companies like TransLogic. Womply is another one. I would probably look at those. If you're dealing with First Data, if you're First Data ISO, they've got a new product called First Data Analytics. It's just coming out to market. So I would probably check with your ISO, and many of the ISOs out there are already working on implementing some of these solutions. So probably the first place I'd go to is look at the ISO, because you may like a data analytics product, but if your ISO isn't sharing the cardholder data or the merchant data with the product, it won't work. So you need to make sure with your ISO who they are leaning to, what they are working on, because there has to be a transfer of that data, and then they pull it into the analytics package, and then it's presented to the merchant. So just check with your ISO. I'm sure they're probably working on a data analytics product that you can review. All right, guys. Well, that gets us to the end of the webinar. Once again, I thank you for attending. Xavier, do you have any comments or anything you'd like to say before we wrap it up?
You know, I just want to say thank you for putting this on for us, Mark. You did an excellent job, and more importantly, I want to thank the people that are on the call, because I know you're all busy, and I'm pleased to see that you made an investment not only in yourself but in your company's future. And please share our webinars. We will be posting this to our website at thewesternstatesacquirers.com, and look forward to many more of these webinars. And thanks again, Mark.
All right. Thank you, Xavier. Everybody have a great day, and we will get the replay out to you soon.